Harlem Renaissance Education Pipeline, taking educational opportunities from inspiration to implementation. No dreams deferred. Harlem, the mecca for the Harlem Renaissance era, is currently experiencing gentrification, which has resulted in an economic and housing boom. However, the benefits of gentrification are not being reflected either in resources or diversity in the public schools in the Harlem community. The dream of having quality and effective public schools in our community that have significant student outcomes has been a dream deferred for too long. The Harlem Renaissance Education Pipeline, HREP, a collective impact initiative, consists of a broad cross-sector of community organizations and institutions that have come together with a shared vision and mission to improve student outcomes in the public school system in Harlem, focusing particularly on District 5. District 5 has a Title I designation as a district and has struggled for decades to significantly improve student performance.
My involvement with education began in the mid-70s. It was at that time that I began to recognize the challenges that many of our students were facing. I got a first-class education all the way through high school. It caused me to wonder what was going on in the schools, that children were not getting my level of education that I received in New York.
In my opinion, there are some excellent and very progressive schools in Harlem. However, when you look at the totality of all of our schools, there are not enough schools that are having great outcomes.
I would describe a school that's considered high quality as a school that has great staff members, not only teachers, but others in the school that help you and encourage you.
I have many friends in schools in the community who are not given the same opportunities that I am. Me being in a school that doesn't have all the opportunities but has most, hearing that my friends don't have like any of them, it makes me feel bad.
How do we operationalize and how do we view quality, right? So, you know, quality enough for who? It's okay if you don't get, the best books or the best teachers. It's okay if the kids in Midtown, that they get the best resources. I think for me, gratefully, I was able to go to a school that cultivated my leadership skills and also provided an environment where scholars got to learn. And it's no coincidence now that I lead social change trips all around the world, that I'm doing social change work, and that I'm also doing policy work, because I understand the power of social change, but also of development. And I got that from going to Thurgood Marshall.
Where I have my local city council persons, where I have our assembly persons, the chancellor of the Department of Education, all working in concert. You can't lose because you're orchestrating all of them to focus on the education of our children.
The beauty of collective impact is that we can provide all of the necessary interventions within everyone's respective wheelhouse. From the economic development standpoint, what we've seen through our relationship, Abyssinian Development Corporation, with Thurgood Marshall Academy, is that we have been able to infuse the resources to help them catch up to their peers, and because of that, we've seen some of the top performing students in our district. We've received some of the top test scores and grades on our report card because of the support system, but then also the resources that are there.
That's why it's very, very important that we have this effort to combine all of our resources and all of our intelligence, collective intelligence, so that every school in Harlem is outstanding.
HREP from the very beginning has engaged the community on multiple levels. They've engaged the individual. They've also engaged at a community leadership table. They have brought anchor entities to the forefront and really forming that collective unit to address improving the educational outcomes here in the community.
We've always had a seat at the table to share our ideas, to lend our voice as parents, to the process of what we think is best for our children.
The Harlem Renaissance Education Pipeline is the best vehicle because those of us who are involved are on the ground.
And when I think about education and I think about low-income families, when I think of HREP, I think of a group of people who are really connected to the issues that those particular families face.
And it focuses on, and this was something that was unique to us, a pipeline. We can take you from Head Start in a public, free system, take you through lower school, middle school, and high school. Education is a right that all people should have, and we should not allow for our system to be divided based on race and based on economics.
What happens to a dream deferred?
I dream of our district, District 5, being a district where every single student exceeds state standards.
Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun?
I dream of a world where the community is better than the school.
Or fester like a sore and then run?
I dream of becoming renowned in whatever field I pursue.
Does it stink like rotten meat?
I dream of a community that's beaming and bustling with economic vibrancy.
Or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet?
I dream of an education system that serves all children.
Maybe it just sags like a heavy load.
I dream of a world where I actually don't have a job anymore, meaning that I don't have to go into the Senate and argue for basic necessities and needs for our children.
Or does it explode?
I dream of a community where equal access to education, economic opportunities, and the advancement of life is something that is the standard and not the exception. And we believe we can make that happen through the Harlem Renaissance Education Pipeline, and we're committed to seeing that happen.
Harlem Renaissance Education Pipeline.